In our nation's 246-year history, there has never been an individual who is a greater threat to our republic than Donald Trump. He tried to steal the last election using lies and violence to keep himself in power after the voters had rejected him. He is a coward. A real man wouldn't lie to his supporters. He lost his election, and he lost big.
At 81 years old, former Vice President Cheney is now trashing Donald Trump. It's a last-ditch effort to try and help the struggling primary campaign of Cheney's daughter, Liz.
Liz is fearless. She never backs down from a fight. There is nothing more important she will ever do than lead the effort to make sure Donald Trump is never again near the Oval Office. And she will succeed.
Our committee has just begun to show America the evidence that we have gathered.
Cheney's work on the January 6th Congressional Committee, though, is coming with a political cost. The latest Wyoming primary polls show her losing by double digits to Trump-endorsed challenger Harriet Hageman. And Hageman is repeating the big lie, saying the 2020 election was rigged. At a candidates forum, quote, "Absolutely, the election was rigged. It was rigged to make sure that President Trump could not get reelected. What happened in 2020 is a travesty." Cheney has repeatedly called her primary challenger beholden to Donald Trump. And in July, during a debate, Cheney and Hageman tussled over the January 6th insurrection.
You have the conservatives or Republicans who are being punished for expressing a First Amendment right, for exercising their First Amendment rights.
Frankly stunned that one of my opponents on the stage, who is a member of the Wyoming Bar, who has sworn an oath, as many of us on this stage have, to the Constitution, would be in a position where she is suggesting that somehow what happened on January 6th was justified, or that somehow what happened that day, the people have the right to ignore the rulings of the court.
The ad from Cheney's father comes less than 2 weeks before the primary.
I am Dick Cheney. I proudly voted for my daughter. I hope you will too.
Wyoming political authorities say the spot for Liz Cheney is going to be a mixed bag. Hello, everybody. I'm David Shuster, and thanks for joining us. To this day, Dick Cheney is widely revered among the Republican establishment in Wyoming. He served 10 years in Congress representing the state before serving as Defense Secretary for President George H.W. Bush and then Vice President for President George W. Bush. During that Bush 43 administration, there was the Second Iraq War. And many Americans, including some Republicans, have not forgiven Dick Cheney for lying about weapons of mass destruction and declaring that Iraqis would greet the U.S. troops as liberators. There were no WMD in Iraq, and during the lengthy Iraq occupation, more than 4,400 U.S. soldiers were killed. Donald Trump has repeatedly blasted the Bush-Cheney administration over the war, calling it one of America's biggest foreign policy blunders. And for the Trump supporters who prefer isolationism to interventionism, Liz Cheney is a lot like her father. When you add in Cheney's work for the January 6th committee and the steady right-wing conspiracy-laden drift of the GOP, you can see why Liz Cheney is in trouble. Still, polling in a state like Wyoming can be a bit unpredictable. And even if Liz Cheney is headed towards a loss, the Republican establishment, starting with her father, well, they are embracing this fight. And like Liz Cheney, they are betting that history will vindicate their assertions that Donald Trump is a coward and the greatest threat to democracy, even if the most pressing threat are the Trump primary voters looking for revenge.